the way.
We want it men.
On this computer. Welcome to episode 207 of the Smugglers Galaxy Podcast, your favorite Star Wars podcast for smugglers in the galaxy. I'm Glenn. It's Jason on the other side. And for a week where we had nothing to talk about, all of a sudden there's news. But anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. Jason, how you doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good here. Everything's fine. Same old, same old.
Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Got into an accident this week.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, was it your fault?
No.
Oh, well, that's good.
Someone backed into me in the Starbucks parking lot because they had paved the parking lot.
Uh-huh.
It was just a complete cluster, and people were doing whatever they wanted, and someone backed into me, and I thought all was fine because it was just a fender bender until I got to work, and I noticed coolant liquid just pouring out of my engine.
Uh-huh.
So I had to take it to the shop. But other than that, I'm fine. I mean, no one was injured, so that's the important thing.
All right. Did you get information?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Good.
Yes. So we'll see what happens with that.
All right.
Cars in the shop. Fun times.
Yeah. Do you at least get a rental car?
No. I'm going to commute with my wife because we work right across 285 from each other.
Uh-huh.
So either she can drop me off and go to work, or I'll drop her off and go to work.
Y'all can kiss each other goodbye and be like, have a great day, honey.
I can't believe I have to let you go. I'm so sorry. Have a great day without me.
Did you get your lunch, sweetie?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
It does. But I'm here. I'm well.
You're well. Did you pick anything fun and exciting up this week?
Kind of. A couple weeks ago when all those Sabine ties were hitting Ross, one guy posted in California that he got one and he put a laundry list of things to trade, and one of them was the Antoch X-Wing. And you had picked one up for me because it didn't have the sticker on it.
Right.
And you think that was the only reason why it was there. And so I initiated the trade with the intent of giving it to you because, I mean, you were the one that found the Antoch.
Right.
And he kind of ghosted me for a while. And he came back and said, sorry, I got a trade. Sorry. So I just thought it was dead. And then out of the blue, he messaged me. He's like, hey, do you want to make that trade?
Wow.
So I don't know if his trade fell through or if he found another one, but long story short, we made the trade. So I have a regular Sabine tie. And when I say regular, it's not the international version. There's packaging differences.
You variant collector, you.
Yeah, it felt like there was an asterisk on my, because now I have series 1 and series 2, but for series 2 it felt like, well, I don't have the US. Like everything is the same except for this one item.
Right. Well, hey, now you can open the international version.
Yeah, right. I can.
It is funny to see all these people that are trying to sell the Sabine ties for like hundreds of dollars now, and everybody's just laughing at them.
Yeah.
Even at $100, people are laughing at people because it's like, dude, you picked that up for $5 at Ross.
Yeah, it's selling for about $90 now.
Uh-huh.
On eBay. There's a action figure 411 tracks a bunch of toy lines, how they're selling on eBay, and there's a graph that shows the high points and the low points. And at one point it did reach that 250 was pretty constant, but now it's way down. It's in the $90 range, which I think the market has corrected itself. And it just goes to show they weren't in store shelves. And so that's the reason why they were selling so much. But now that they become readily available, the price dropped.
Right. Well, we always jump, and Jason, I don't know, but anyway, because we had it's a funny story because this goes along with what I've got. Is that the only thing you got this week? Was that?
Yeah, I'll get into the other thing in just a minute.
Okay, cool. Well, because we had our buddy Sam messages us yesterday morning, and he said, I have two Hera X-Wings. And you're like, of course we want them. And because I was doing other things, I hadn't seen it yet. And he's like, cool, I'll pick them up and ship them to you. And then within an hour, our buddy Jordan found two locally. So, and it seems like those Hera X-Wings, people are finding them two at a time, and they're supposed to be a chase.
Mhm.
So I don't know what's going on with that one. But then Jordan, Jordan also had found the Phantom, so he picked that up for me. I don't have it yet, but I'm sure once we can hook up, yeah. So I was able to cancel my Amazon order and find one locally, which yeah, I'm still torturing myself looking for those things, and I don't know. I guess they hit on the weekends for some reason.
Well,
But
thank you, Sam.
yes, thanks,
And
Sam.
thank
You
you,
see,
Jordan, for looking out for us.
yes, you wanted us to talk kindly of you, Sam. So here we are.
Yeah, I take back everything I ever said about you. That was negative.
Sam, if you guys are in West Virginia area, look up the West Virginia Star Wars Club on Facebook. Sam helps run that, and yeah, it's a fun little club. They have meetups every now and again, and it's always fun to have more friends, nerd friends.
I want to go to that West Virginia Jedi Toy Con or whatever they call it someday.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be fun. I want to go to a lot of stuff, man.
They
Like
got
some
like 60 Star Wars vendors. I don't know, I'm
wow,
stuttering there, but
it is first thing in the morning, buddy.
yeah.
Um, Shoot, well, I was gonna, yeah, like Columbus Toy Shows today, and he's saying he's up there, and he's saying it seems light,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if the doors have opened officially yet or not, because I know, he may have got in on the early bird, but maybe people are sleeping in, or just tired of Star Wars or
Maybe.
collecting in general.
Maybe.
But yeah, I've been doing a lot more like music gear moving around, like buying and selling on music gear. So my Star Wars stuff has been Star Wars has kind of taken a back seat a little bit. But Dragon Con's next weekend, and a certain artist is there, and so I've already made some deals with him to pick up some Christians up. Our buddy
Oh,
Christian is
Christian stuff.
yeah, he's up in Dragon Con, and he called me yesterday. He's like, "Hey, are you interested in this stuff?" So I'm gonna go pick it up next Sunday at Dragon Con. And then that means I'll get to meet Sabine.
Was it
I already
Natasha?
got, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna pick up a couple of pieces from him, and yeah, I'll go meet Sabine. I'll go meet Natasha. So I don't know. There's other people there I'd like to meet. I mean, like what is it? Alan Tunick, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be there. That'd be fun to meet him. I'm curious if he's the same person in person.
I
If that
think
makes
he
sense.
is.
Huh?
Yeah. I think he is. I think he's pretty funny in person.
Right.
At least that's his personality, like when he's on stage doing talks about, Rogue One and stuff or whatever he's pimping out.
Right. I don't know. I probably depending on how much he would charge for his autograph, I'd probably get it. But I mean, it'd have to be like in the $50 range. If it was any more than like 50, $60, I'd be like, it'd be tough.
I'd
Uh,
love to get my teaser poster for Rogue One signed, but I feel like Felicity, what's her last name? I'm having
Jones?
a Jones. Like she doesn't really do those convention appearances anymore. Like it was just like after Rogue One.
Uh-huh.
So if I can't get them all, then why bother?
Right. Well, and with a piece like that, with people who get helmets signed and people who get the poster signed, it's like I've always heard it's a lot harder sometimes to negotiate. They even though you have thousands of dollars invested in that piece, it's not worth the thousands of dollars because most people don't want everybody's autograph on one piece. They'd rather have
No.
individual autographs.
Yeah, and I'm
So,
not approaching it from that angle. I just want a signed poster. I think it looks cool when the artists sign it. So
right. No, I'm as far as for me, it'd be, I mean, I would do that on a Rebels piece, but it's Rebels, there's not, I mean, I'd have like $500 invested in it versus $5,000 on like one of some of those bigger pieces. Um, but yeah, I'm curious what his autograph price would be. I mean, I miss the days when autographs were like $50 and you were like, oh my God. $50 for an autograph,
Yeah.
and now that's like, take my money if it's $50.
Mark Hamill was in an appearance last weekend and he was charging $400 per signature.
It's Mark Hamill, though. I mean, I guess I get. Well, Hewan was three, but that was at Celebration, right?
Yeah, but Ewan is, how do I say this kindly? Like, Mark Hamill is only known for Luke Skywalker.
Well,
I,
and
I
the
mean, the
joke,
Joker, and
he's done a lot more voiceover work.
he's done a lot more voiceover work. And I don't want to diminish his talent because he's a talented actor. But Ewan McGregor is a bigger box office star. Maybe that's the way to position it.
Okay,
And so I would pay $300 for Ewan McGregor. I would pay less than $300 for Mark Hamill.
right. I think because when I think about it, like let's just cut it down to brass tacks. Somebody that I've been following has been Michael J. Fox, and his autographs have been between two to 250, depending on where he's at.
Yeah,
So I guess when you look at it from that perspective, 400 for a Mark Hamill's crazy.
yeah. But
But, but I mean, maybe he's trying to control the crowds, or maybe I don't understand it. I mean, I paid $40 for a Peter Mayhew autograph in 2017,
yeah,
2018.
it's different time.
I mean, and then, and like the same, like the 2 years before that, I paid $60 for a Anderson autograph. And I was like, holy crap, $60. And now that
Truth is out
autograph is
there.
probably somewhere between 100 and 150.
Yeah,
I'm sure if you're going to meet her in person.
the
So I
truth is
guess,
out there.
yeah. I'd love to meet David Duchovny. See, that's a piece I'd love to have double signed. Because I have a piece. It's actually hanging right in my wall on my wall. It's the I Want to Believe UFO, and I've got her autograph on it. It'd be cool to get David's autograph on it too. But
I say forget Magneto was right and start saying Mulder was right.
yeah,
Anyways,
I love me some X Files. Yeah, and it's funny when you watch them and you have to see the old tech with the big cell phones and stuff. And
yeah. And then the other thing I picked up this week, kind of picked up this week. So after Rogue Fun, like normally I love documenting things and making videos and stuff. And I just because of Rogue Fun and our involvement, there was no way that I could film behind the scenes stuff and then do my duties as a event organizer and putting things together. So afterwards, I put together a photo book.
yeah,
We had a gentleman who was at my company for 40 years. He retired and they wanted me to put together a photo book at Shutterfly. And it turned out this book cost like $60, which was insane.
Mhm.
So I started doing my research and I found this company called Lulu, which is a self-publishing company. And if I made the pages myself and put together all the photos and did everything, I can get the book down to $17. It was $18.
That's
So
awesome.
I did that. It took a long time having to factor the DPI of some of these photos and trying to upscale them and downscale them and all this stuff. But we put out an order and all the orders came in. I have 35 books on my coffee table right now that I need to ship out this week. But they turned out well. I'm kind of proud with it. The only thing I didn't like was the front cover. The image is not centered.
Uh-huh.
But that's just I guess going forward, don't make a symmetrical cover. Just make something unsymmetrical so you can't even tell.
Right. Well, you may be the only one that notices that, unless I need. Uh, but now I'm gonna have to pay attention when I get mine. But no, those are cool. It's definitely a fun way to remember everything, and wow, we got 30 people to buy those, so that's awesome.
Hmm.
So no, I'm excited about that book. It was fun looking at it on the computer, so I can't wait to have it in person and look at it.
Hmm.
So
Um, so as far as news, there's one little piece of news I'll get into before the Acolyte. Steve Evans was interviewed on Bossk's Bounty, which is a um YouTube show.
uh-huh.
And he said that the 2026, 2027 years will be where his influence is felt because again, it takes 18 to 24 months for like if I were to start a figure now before it hits store shelves, it takes that long. So he says Return to Tatooine is the 2026 focus, and it's going to be very storytelling based, which makes me think of the days when they would do waves based on a certain scene or a certain setting, there was like a Tatooine wave, and then there was a Hoth wave.
Oh,
So I'm hoping that's what they do, but it's all Tatooine based stuff. It sounds like the days of willy-nilly are over, where it's like, here's a Rex, and here's a Chewbacca, and here's a Rey. It's like these will all be based in Tatooine, and we'll get stories. And so I'm excited about that approach. It's different and fresh and new. So hopefully this will reinvigorate the line. 2027, he said, will be related to someone's birthday. So I assume TVC will be focused more on A New Hope.
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it's 50 years of A New Hope.
Yeah, but if they're doing Tatooine, we can go back to the barge. We can go back to uh the cantina. We can go to Pelimato and all the stuff that she does. So we're incorporating a little bit of the Mandalorian. So
Well, I mean,
I'm a,
all of Star Wars ends up back in Tatooine,
yeah,
so you can do everything.
yeah. Deluxe figures he talked about, they're not going to be boxed anymore. We've been getting a lot of those package free, plastic free packaging
Yeah.
for the box stuff where you can't see what's inside. He said no more box sets. They're going to be so normal card backs are 6x9 going forward. These deluxe ones will be 7x9, a little bit bigger to accommodate the bubble.
Okay.
So the bubble will be slightly bigger. And then the other thing of note that I picked up on was that he said more retro figures are on the way. I assumed he meant from established content, so something we've already seen. He said like when he was pitching the idea of retro, people weren't really understanding what he was going for, but then he said, like Darth Maul, and they all kind of went, "Oh, a Darth Maul retro figure. That's interesting." And then he
Right.
said there was another one that he said, another figure that he pitched that hasn't come to fruition but is on the way.
Ooh.
So, I mean, Mando's out. I don't know what other big figures, big character would make a good figure like that
Hmm.
because they've already done Mandalorian. I doubt Andor is going to be, the thing that they're pointing towards.
Maybe they'll make a stranger.
I doubt that's what he was talking about either because we're talking pandemic times. So this was like 2018 when he was pitching the retro line,
Oh, wow.
right? Because I
Right.
think the
Right.
first wave came out during COVID, or maybe there was a second wave that came out during COVID. It was around that time.
Right. Hmm. Well, who else could he? So you're talking about him doing another deluxe figure, right?
No, I'm talking about another retro figure
Okay.
because he said he used two examples, Darth Maul and somebody else,
Uh-huh.
and everybody got it like, oh, okay, I see what you're saying here.
Hmm.
But it's like, what other big character would be considered like an aha moment, a figure that like, oh, I could definitely see that.
Gosh. I mean, you couldn't. You want to, I mean, I guess it wouldn't be like the big three or big four, it wouldn't be Darth Vader or because they'd already have like a Darth Vader, a Luke, and it'd have to be like some oddball figure that they never
Mm-hmm.
did in a retro line.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I would say maybe Qui-Gon, but that wouldn't make sense either. 'Cause-
Qui-Gon was made for it was made for the episode one line, and he said it's upcoming, and that one's already been announced and released.
okay. Hmm.
So more
Maybe,
retros
well,
on
no,
the
because they
way.
already did a Grievous too, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Grievous is on his way too. But I was trying to think original trilogy and what big characters have they not made that would be interesting to make. And I was kind of at a loss because they've already done Tarkin and they've already done Mon Mothma. So
mhm.
I
But a
mean,
major, yeah.
Dr. Cornelius Ezevan or Evezavan. I don't remember, but
I
I
don't
can.
like you.
Yeah, him.
Maybe. Or the bar. Well, no, did they release the bartender?
Wooher? No,
Yeah.
no. There's a guy that's doing those on Etsy. I think it's the next 17. He's been making
Yeah,
a lot of
that
the Cantina aliens, and he did a Wooher.
he did well, I've seen that, and then I've seen a lot of people like they'll blue sky stuff, and like this is what I'd love to see. And I think sometimes you just when you're scrolling Instagram and Facebook, you see that, and your brain thinks it's real when it's fake.
Hmm.
So that may be where I'm getting it from. But I have
I,
seen both, I guess him and somebody else saying that they need to do a retro line for the Cantina.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
The big news of the week is that the Acolyte has been canceled. There won't be a season two. On one side, I'm kind of not surprised, but on the other, I hope that they would make a season two and they'd wrinkle out some of the issues that I've had. Unfortunately, we'll never get an answer to those cliffhangers, or if we do, it'll be in some comic book that
Nobody will ever read.
nobody will really read. They won't put their time and attention focused on it. Um,
Yeah.
According to John Rocha, he says that the studio was in fact putting together a season two writers' room back in February, and had been quietly inquiring about the interest level for directors for season two. The show definitely had a soft green light to continue, but February is before the show came out, and the Jeff Snyder on his podcast said 100% it was due to ratings. The ratings were just so low, and
Right.
spending $180 million on a show that doesn't bring in much revenue is not something Disney's interested in doing right now.
Mhm.
The other thing he mentioned was that Keanu Reeves was considered for the role of Soul, but due to scheduling conflicts, he had to step away. But Lucasfilm is definitely interested in doing something with Keanu Reeves,
Right.
and they do have various other shows in stages of development, which I'm like, enough with the shows. Let's go back to movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just concerned. I mean, number one, they left that show that like the final 15 minutes of that season was the best part, I thought.
Yeah.
Because they did leave it with a bunch of cliffhangers, and it does kind of irk me that we'll never get those resolved. I wish they would have kind of at least resolved them a little bit. Or been like, who's this guy in the hidden in the caves? Um, but the thing that concerns me more than that is how people are happy that it was canceled.
Yeah, so I got into a couple online fights despite my better uh
You know
awareness
better
not
than
to
that,
do that.
Jason.
Yeah. But I was just there was people who I saw dismissing the show before the show even was released because, well, in my assumption, it was because it was starring a person of color, show run by somebody who was of the LGBTQ community. The other main star was someone from South Korea, so it was all based in racism and bigotry.
Mhm.
The reason they didn't like the show, let's be honest,
Yeah. I
and the volume, and to see those people just like, I'm not going to give this any of my time. What is this crap? It's like you haven't seen the show yet. You don't know. You're just making a judgment based on what you're seeing and your bigotry.
Right.
And then to see them celebrate, it's the same people. And I'm probably going to have to, I don't even know why I'm friends with these people because I never even met them. But they were just like lauding it and saying, this is the greatest news ever. And it's like,
Right.
you're a racist asshole.
Right. Wow, Jason's cursing on the
I'm
podcast.
serious about it. Like
Right. No, I
we
I
live in
feel you. No, because it was like I was upset. I mean, what am I gonna? I crap. I don't. I'm trying to pick my words right because I don't want to piss people off. But it's
I
the
don't
truth. It's
care.
like
Like
you
bigots
you
are
know.
bigots and they should be pissed off because
Well, and the I think the pre-interviews that they did for the show didn't do themselves any good because
yeah,
they were just like, "Oh yes, this is the gayest Star Wars ever,"
right,
and they were saying it jokingly, and then people took that and ran with it.
right.
And it's like I think that show was doomed from the start, and a lot of it was, yeah, people are like, "Oh, the director's a lesbian." I can give a crap less. I mean, I'm at the point of my life where if I don't agree with something like that, I go, "Oh, I don't agree with that, but I enjoy the show, or I enjoy this, or I enjoy that," and I just go about my business. I mean, that's the way it is nowadays. Because I mean, it's pointless to get upset when you don't agree with somebody because you're never going to change each other's views.
Yeah. This one guy posted this whole tirade on the show, and in the comment he was making, he said something like earmuffs kids. He said something like Disney and their shitty agenda, to which I posted, what agenda?
Right.
And it was radio silence. Someone was like, to make money. And I said, that's not how this is being used here.
Right.
The shitty
Exactly.
agenda is not to make money. There's something else that he's talking about.
Yeah.
And someone else posted, uh, I've been asking that question and no one seems to have an answer. To which I replied, well, that means saying the quiet part out loud. So they're not going to say, I don't like people of color.
Mhm.
And that means I'm not going to like the show. It's like, stop.
Right.
With
And yeah.
with that said, the show itself wasn't great. It had some flaws. Character motivation was a big issue for me because it's like, why Soul is trying to prevent violence. He goes into
Mhm.
this place to prevent violence, and the next thing I know, he's stabbing Mother Anasea with a lightsaber. Where did that come from? Where did the
Right.
change come from? That didn't make any sense. And it's just little things like that. And like he goes up to a ship and waiting for what's her name? Of course, if you don't know the name, I'll know the name. But now that I need to name the green
Which
lady,
one? One of the twins or somebody
Master
else?
Vanestra.
Okay.
Master Vanestra. He calls for Master Vanestra to come, and
Right.
she's on her way, and he's just like, "I'm out, peace out," and he takes off right as she arrives. It's like, what happened? Why are you
Right.
changing your mind? What? It wasn't the best show, and that's why I said I hope that things would have been ironed out. But
Mhm.
I know some of these people didn't see the show, and they say it's the worst show ever. It's not because of the what was in the show; it was because what's outside of the show.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and like I've said before, I mean, me watching bad TV, I'm used to watching bad TV. I just kind of shut my brain off, and that's what I want to do. I want to shut my brain off for an hour and enjoy Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping this doesn't. I mean, I know Ahsoka season two's already being pre-production stuff. I'm hoping this kind of stuff doesn't affect that. It's because people kind of said the same thing about Ahsoka, and I mean, I number one, I was already gonna love the show no matter what they did because it was Rebels season five. You
Hmm.
know, it could have been Sabine and Ahsoka staring at each other for 5 hours, and I would have loved it because it's Rebels season five.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't know. It kind of scares me because I don't want people to say like, oh, we did this and this is what we did. I don't know, but then yeah,
So it comes down to that their whining and complaining didn't affect the show. It was just a simple thing of ratings. It was nothing that it wasn't
right.
there screaming about Disney, you got to stop doing this. It was just a ratings thing.
Yeah.
I think the show was just a little too expensive. You're talking about $22 million an episode, and some of those episodes were 30 minutes long.
Right. That was probably that was my big complaint about the show was that it was 30-minute episodes. It's like, man, give me 45. Give me an hour. And I think if they would have given an hour, maybe they could have flushed things out better and maybe written better. And we wouldn't be complaining.
Hmm.
But what you gonna do?
Unfortunately, we're not going to be watching second season.
No, and it sucks because I really want to see what happens. I really was hoping to see that we'd see how the Knights of Ren started or the dark side or something cool in the Force, and we're never going to see it.
Yeah, why did you choose to use Kylo Ren's theme? Why was
Right.
that incorporated in there? I think the show would have been better. It's just a dark side show following um the stranger and Darth Plagueis try to persuade this person over to the dark side or something.
Yeah. And it was like, and that's what scares me about Skeleton Crew. It was like we were promised an X-Files type thing, and we got something totally different. And
Well,
you're
I
right.
guess
They
it,
should have, huh?
no, go ahead.
They should have just gone straight for it. And the Skeleton Crew were promised a Goonie/ET thing. And what we're seeing, I'm feeling it, but I'm hoping it's a good show. I mean, we got till December to figure that out. And the Lego thing should be coming up soon too.
Yeah, Lego What If. I'm
Yeah.
hoping the rumors of What If were just the Lego What If, that we're not getting like a animated What If season. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So
Like
you
a
yeah, go ahead.
there was rumors that there developing a what if for Star Wars similar to Marvel.
Right.
But in a comedy setting like Lego, I think it's a perfect fit. If it was something serious like an animated Clone Wars show, like
Mm.
no, thank you. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I haven't seen the teaser or the trailer for that yet, but I've seen like the the Black Millennium Falcon
Yeah.
looks badass.
Darth Jar Jar.
Yeah. That, and then there's like a Darth Ray, and it's all like different characters, and then it's
Yeah.
like Jedi Bob or something.
Yeah. So yeah, the Acolyte's not coming back.
Yeah, it's a bummer. And then I was listening to something else and some or another podcast, and people were saying you need like 2 or 3 seasons to really flush a show out, and they're not giving anybody that time anymore.
Well, I think Hollywood has a problem of franchise addiction where everything needs to be a franchise and they won't consider making a movie unless it's a franchise. So everybody's not just setting up season one, they're
Mhm.
setting up seasons 2 through 7
Right.
with all these things. And it's like concentrate on completing your story in season one. And you just have to leave one little piece of breadcrumb somewhere that you can pick off for season two. It's not like all these mysteries will be solved, all 10 mysteries will be solved in season two. It's like, no, solve them in season one
You're right.
because your answers might not be as good as you think they are. And it's best just to get it over with. I mean, that's what Lost kind of suffered from for some
Yeah.
people.
Oh, my wife's still mad about Lost.
See, by some
She-
people, I mean your wife.
she's still like, I can't stand the way they ended that show, and they led me on for years, and then they're all dead. Whoops. Huh?
Yeah, but I mean, everybody dies.
Right. But
And when
then
they
they're
died, they
dead
met
from the
up.
start.
No, they weren't.
Were they? Oh, okay.
No, when they died, they all went to that church. So it didn't matter when they died. They all met at the same time because
Okay.
time is different in the afterlife, apparently, according to the show.
Right.
Anyways,
And hey, did you see who's coming back for a fourth season?
yeah, Ted Lasso. Without Ted Lasso,
I thought he was going to be in it.
I don't know if he's going to be in it because he went back to, was it Oklahoma City barbecue
Right.
sauce?
Well, I mean, he could be in it like, hey, I'm calling in from Oklahoma City. I
I
mean, they kind of
guess.
set it up. I mean, a lot of people were like they left it. Because I thought the way they ended that was perfect, but I was like, I want more. Um, so I think they set it up to where they can do both. He can still like maybe come visit, or they can Skype him in, or crazy stuff like that.
Yeah. Last week, we had put the call out to let us know what you thought about our 2024 bingo card about the new ride at Galaxy's Edge, if the overlay of The Mandalorian is a new ride. And we got a resounding answer. Everybody agreed for once. Everybody, it was a unanimous answer. No, it's not. We cannot mark that off our bingo card.
Doggone it! You mean like the 3 people that we talked to?
There's 3 people we talked to, but we had like 12 people answer the survey and they all
Oh,
said no.
awesome!
Yeah.
That's good.
Um,
That's good for us.
yeah. Uh, why? Because we have 11 listeners now.
Right. Dude, it is so. I mean, I know I need to figure out how to get you to log back into the thing, but into the app. But it's weird. It'll go from like 200 to 150 to 200 to 130 to it's. I don't understand that. I do not understand the app, but it's free, so I can't complain. And we're not
No.
really watching the numbers anyway. So
And who knows if the numbers are actually right.
exactly. It'd be great if we were making a living off of this thing, but I don't think that'll ever happen.
No, not anytime soon.
We'd have to be like, it's like podcast. I look at podcasts like, like bands, because you have like famous people that'll start a podcast and they're making millions off of it the first episode. And it's the same thing with like a band. You get a lot of famous people that'll start a band from other bands. They'll do like a mega group and they have an album record deal like as soon as they say they're going to make a band. So it's like the more famous you are, the easier it is to get this stuff started.
Yeah. But they were
Maybe
saying
we should
thing
start an Office rewatch podcast.
we do the X-Files rewatch podcast. No one's done that.
That would be fun.
Not
Maybe
that
we
I know
should.
of.
Dude,
It's on Hulu.
maybe we should.
I don't know if I have that time.
It's not that hard. All you'd have to do is, well, yeah, you'd have to, it'd be like 3, 4 hours a week because you'd have to watch the X-Files and take notes.
I think the big question is, do they have the incest episode available on Hulu? Because they aired that once and it
Oh,
never got aired again.
I think I've seen that one several times, but I don't, maybe it's because it's on, I have the DVD, but
Maybe that's how he's seen it.
yeah, I don't, but I know people are like, oh, they've only aired it. Like you said, they only aired it once, but I swear they've aired it more. But that's like the one episode that my stepmom is just like, no, I will not watch that. Nope, nope, nope. And then that song gets stuck in your head that they keep playing throughout the episode.
I only saw it once. I've never seen it again, but once was enough. I was just very creeped out. It was more it was scarier than any slasher film I've ever seen.
Yeah. Ugh.
But yeah, a lot of people were saying, going back to the Galaxy's Edge thing, they were saying, if there's a new overlay in Star Tours, is that a new ride? And it's like, no. So it was just wishful thinking on my part to think that the new Smugglers Run would be a new ride, and we can cross that off our 2024 bingo card.
Right. Well, here's my question. Do you think they're gonna replace Hondo, or they're just because Hondo, the big animatronic Hondo at the beginning? Because if they really, because if they did more than just throw a new skin, they the ride concept would have to be the same. They just have to throw a new skin on it.
Yeah.
Because if they did anything different, they'd have to redo that whole ride.
Yeah, I think no. Um, I think Hondo stays just because what it seems what Disney does is invest very little once something's been built.
Hmm.
So to put a whole new animatronic there would be against that reasoning, that logic.
Right.
So I don't think Disney's going to replace it. I think what they'll do is, we haven't seen Hondo die yet, so Hondo could be very much alive during the Mandalorian era of Star Wars, and who knows, maybe he's like, hey, you need to help me do this
Right. So they would have to, yeah,
with the
they'd have to,
Mandalorian.
yeah, I
You
guess
have to
maybe,
help.
man.
Let
It's
me do
gonna,
my impression, friend.
it'll be interesting to see how they do it because, I mean, legitimately, it's either going to be you're flying and then, oh, look, there's Mando, or they're going to have to redo a lot to it.
Yeah, and Mando can come on screen and is like, "Hey, Falcon, I need you to get this coaxium for me so I can feed Grogu or something.
Baby Grogu needs more frogs. Get this
He
coaxium.
needs more cookies. I need coaxium for the cookies.
I mean, it'd be, when are they supposed to, they don't, there's no time frame on it.
And if you hurry up, I can bring the cookies to him warm. I can bring the cookies to him cold.
But there's no time frame on that, right?
I thought they said 2026 in time for the movie.
That's the thing that irks me the most about all this stuff is it's like it's 10 years, 2, 3 years down the road.
Yeah. And going back to the D23, apparently that's just phase one of two phases. So after 2023, like the 2028 D23 will be like another, and we're building this, and we're building this, and we're building this.
Um,
And so hopefully 2028, we need to add this to our bingo card. We'll get an expansion of Galaxy's Edge announced.
You're right. Well, I don't think we'll still be doing the bingo card in 20. Well, we may in that year. Maybe we'll do it every year. We'll just have to remember if, in 2026 to add that to the bingo card.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be no bad idea dies at Disney. And there was that one idea where you would step into it'd be 40 people playing a game essentially for 3 minutes. It's a ride technically, but it's a projected dome around you, and you get on a speeder bike.
Mhm.
You need to fly around and shoot everybody else. But the challenge is you don't want to get on a speeder bike and then die within 30 seconds after waiting an hour to get, into this thing to ride a speeder bike.
Right. I mean, they would have to do something where if you did die, you automatically regenerated. It didn't matter how many times you died, you just regenerated it and kept going.
Right. You kept flying as a hologram or something.
Right.
But I think
Uh,
that's a pretty cool idea. We
yeah.
still need a sit down restaurant with the Olga's Cantina. That was all part of the plan. We were supposed to be able to go through the cantina to go back to the restaurant.
It's so awesome.
Although
Well,
maybe they
it
would.
was a pre-show of the restaurant, right?
I don't remember.
I thought
I thought it.
it was a dinner show, and then Oga's was supposed to be the pre-show or something, or the holding
Oh,
pattern.
maybe I didn't. I wasn't aware of that.
Did you? Yeah, I don't know. No, Galaxy's Edge. We just did not get a whole lot of what we were promised. Anyway, did you hear what they had at D23?
The Star Tours Star Speeder 3000 that's now selling for like $1,400 on eBay.
No, they set up the volume at D23, and you can
Oh,
go in it.
yeah, I saw that. That's pretty. That's pretty dope, as the kids say. Bet.
You had to wait 2 hours to do it, but you had like 10 or 15 seconds in the volume interacting with it.
Yeah, I don't know how I'd maybe try to interact like I'm looking around this because it was in an Imperial docking bay.
Yeah.
And as the camera moved, there was a droid on stage, so you can stand by the droid and kind of look around. But it's like, do you stand like a protocol droid? But that would be stupid because it's like, what are you, an Android protocol droid?
Right.
You would have to do the look around, like, oh, is that a oh, look at that ship fly over or something.
Yeah. That would have been cool. I wonder if they'll set that up. Dude, they're gonna the more and more I think about it, the more and more I think and 27 or is it 20? Would it be? Yeah, 27 celebration is gonna be in Anaheim.
For something like that, because they're just shipping the volume across town
Yeah.
to the convention center. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring my wife to that one so I can go to Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna drag my wife to that one. Dude, I've already told her, I said, next celebration, you need to come and at least experience one day of celebration and then do whatever the heck you want from there. But and you and Shannon can go experience California. Or her and Shannon.
California.
They'll be like sending us all kinds of pictures. Hey, look who we're at. And we're like, yeah, but look, there's Ewan McGregor in a shopping cart right next
The
to us.
golf cart.
Golf cart. He just
Ewan
drove
McGregor's
by us.
holding my hand.
That was funny because our buddy Sam, Ewan McGregor liked like one of his comments on Instagram or something, and he was like freaking out. And he goes, "It's not as cool as him driving by you with a golf cart."
No, and making eye contact with me.
All right, and saying, "Hey, Jason, how are
Hello
you?"
there. Hello there, my favorite fan.
Oh, that was such a good time.
Um, what else? Oh, yeah, I said the Star Speeder was up to $1,400 on eBay, which is insane,
Yeah,
which means Disney start putting those new ones out on the shelves now.
right.
But do you think so? It won't have Rex, but do you think it'll have the screen and stuff?
If they're going to charge $300 for it, it better.
They charge $300. I mean, that Rex won't be included. So would it be 380 or 280?
So all they're going to do, well, I mean, but it's a carded Rex, correct? So they had a carded Rex and
Yeah.
a bagged Rex.
Maybe it's a different card. Maybe it looks more like the normal Star Tours cards.
Well, no, what I'm saying is they don't have, they just don't, they include the bag Rex, but not the carded Rex because they had two Rexes in it, correct?
Right.
And then the carded Rex is the limited edition piece.
Yes.
And then you still charge $300 for it.
Yes. But the box itself said limited to 300.
Huh.
Yeah, 3,000. I'm
3,000.
sorry. It's $300. Limited to 3,000. So it's like, I just felt like something about that Star Speeder was limited to 3,000. Not just the Rex, but time will
If they,
tell.
yeah, if they don't have the screen in it, it needs to be a $200 item.
You can keep all the electronics and the buttons and the sound effects, but I don't know.
That screen to me is worth $100.
I think it should have the screen. I mean, just the carded Rex is nothing,
Right.
but people want it. Make it available. It's a stellar item.
You just need room. Just need room, Jason.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now. I'm getting things and I'm stocking them on my table and I don't know where to put it.
Yeah, I'm dealing with the same thing, and then my wife's dealing with the same thing, and it's kind of crazy because
I got
she's buying stuff, and we have no clue where we're gonna put them.
I got long boxes here filled of TVC figures,
Wow.
two of them, and I don't know where to put them. I can't put them on display. I can't even put anything with these boxes. And I said if I had to box things, that I wouldn't collect, but I'm doing it anyways.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it's like the couple of pieces of art I'm getting. I'm like, what am I gonna do with those? But I couldn't pass them up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start going through things and getting rid of the items. Like I know I have lightsaber popsicle makers. I mean, my
Uh-huh.
kids are in high school. They don't want to make popsicles anymore, so why keep that thing?
Right.
Um, I also have the precursor to Galactic Heroes.
Oh yeah, the big tall ones.
Y- No, they were about the same size as Galactic Heroes, but they were, I think they might even been, maybe the Galactic Heroes rebranded from this, but
Yeah,
they
I
were
think
like a play school at.
do I still galactic. I call them galactic heroes because they move, right? Their
Yeah,
arms and stuff move.
I don't know. I didn't open them.
Oh,
I bought them for my son. He never played with them. I don't need them, but they're
right.
not selling. So what am I supposed to do? Throw it out?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a big tub of galactic heroes. It's probably 300 figures in there, and I have no clue I mean, I've tried selling them, but nobody wants them.
It'd be hilarious in like 20, 30 years. We all find out that the vintage collection stuff's worth nothing, but the Galactic Heroes are worth $300 each.
Yeah, funny.
Because it's the things people don't care about, or that the things that either it's either stuff that you played with as a kid and you want when you're grown up, or it's
Hmm.
stuff that you can't find anymore that I don't know.
Right,
Just stupid stuff.
the stuff that was in the bottom of a discount bin that got all bent up, now people want because it got all bent up and ruined. And when you find a good uh example of them, then people want it.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Isn't that
We're
isn't that
so weird
fun?
as collectors.
We are.
Is there
We
anything you're hunting or anything right now? Or
hunting, no, I still need the ghost. But did you see the ghost with the phantom on top of it?
the Phantom is yes, I do not like the way that the Phantom's so clean versus the
Yeah.
Ghost. The only thing I can think of is the Phantom maybe newer than the Ghost, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but I don't know if I buy it
Yeah, I'm when I get my Phantom, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out how to do a black wash on it or something.
because they just don't go together.
Right. Now the Phantom 2, that needs to be pretty clean because that was a brand new ship that they painted.
Right. But
But yeah, it's not that hard to do. But oh, you know what? All you got to do is dilute some water, dilute some paint, and go for it.
yeah. Well, there was another thing that I forgot to talk about.
Uh-oh, what's that?
I might be into hot toys.
Uh-oh, are you gonna buy all those hot toys?
I'm deeply, yeah, like Rogue Fun kind of changed me as a collector.
Uh-huh.
And I did this whole focus thing, as you know, for Dr. Cornelius, Dr. E, and the Walrus Man, and I put together this exhibit. So now I have all this Walrus Man stuff. I've made my own cantina, I've made my own aliens, and I'm kind of like I've been buying aliens for the cantina for 3.75. So I'm all in on the cantina, and it's something that I've kind of focused on. And so their Sideshow Collectibles are releasing, I think they're Hot Toys, but they're basically premium action figures. They're releasing Dr. E, Walrus Man, Labria, who's the devil looking guy, um, Greedo. They've already released the Greedo, but they're redoing it. And then I was arguing with Rich with this one. Gargadin, he's the guy that goes outside the cantina and he informs the Empire that he's got the guys with the droid,
Right, right, the
which
elephant looking guy. Or not
elephant
or
looking guy who is actually his voice is just John Wayne dialogue sped up. Um, but yeah, they're all being released. I don't know if Gargadin was actually in the cantina, so I'm not really excited about that.
Mm.
I mean, he's supposed to be a master of shadows, so maybe he was hiding there, but I was there. I was standing outside the door. He didn't walk in, so I don't think he should be part of this scum and villainy set.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think I am gonna get these guys, and I'm quite happy that I have a focus, that I have the intent of only buying these guys and not all of the hot toys.
Hmm.
There is a Jabba set coming, so I did see like Leia Bausch, um, Bib Fortuna, a couple other aliens from that's coming. So, but yeah, I think going in for some of these sideshow.
Now, are these 12 like the typical sideshow 12-inch
Yeah,
figures? Okay.
posable. Right now they're running an exclusive, so I got to get in for that. It
So
comes like
you're
right now available is Greedo and Walrus Man,
okay.
Ponda Baba. And the exclusive version, Greedo comes with a cup of blue milk. So you can pose him just holding milk and hanging out. You could swap out his hands and he's got a blaster.
Right.
And then Dr. Cornelia, no, sorry, Walrus Man has two different hands on the exclusive version. It's got the normal like monkey hands, and then it's got you call them
The
paws,
hoofs
maybe
or whatever.
the hooves. Yeah. So there's two different versions where he's holding a gun or a blaster with his hooves, and then a blaster with his hands.
Man. And so these are like a couple $100 a piece, right? Because
The
that's what hot
280, the 280, yeah.
that's what's keeping me from buying hot toys and getting into them. Because I have a couple of them and it's hard to justify. I mean, now granted they're cool, but when you get one in your hand, maybe I just have the wrong one or I've held the wrong ones. When you get them in your hand, you're like, this is a lot of money for this figure.
Yeah.
Because I have because well, in 2017 at Celebration, they gave me a Captain Phasma, or actually gave my son a Captain Phasma, and he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And holding it in your hands, you're like, it's cool, but is it $280 cool?
I like what Sideshow does is they list out the artist, the sculptor, the person who does the paint, the person who does all the, so it really feels like an art piece. It doesn't feel like a Black Series or even like a 12-inch Kenner Hasbro thing. Like
Mhm.
this is a piece of art, and let us share the artists with you, and let us tell you why you're paying this much is because these people invested their care and made something quite realistic in just a smaller form.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I mean, they do a good job of marketing. Don't get me wrong. Sideshow's a hell of a company. They give away a lot of product. Um, they definitely know how to market their items. And yeah, no, I can't complain. I mean, some of this stuff is incredible. Don't take what I'm saying the wrong way. I guess, like I said, maybe I'm just holding the wrong side show pieces. I mean, I know they've sold like Regal Robot stuff. I've bought other things off Sideshow, and I've been extremely happy with them. It's just
Yeah.
it's expensive stuff, but it's amazing. And I mean, if you ever go to a convention that they're at the convention, make sure you're on their Twitter or their socials because they give stuff away all the time at shows
Yeah.
and you got to be on top of it because I think people stand at the booth waiting for them to release something and then go do it. And then here I am.
Um, and then the only challenge with starting a collection like this, so Greedo has already come out. They're re-releasing him, which I'm very thankful for because the current Greedo is anywhere between 550 to 750
Uh-huh.
on the secondary market. But they did do a hammerhead,
Ooh,
and he's about 500 right now.
ouch.
I've seen that one in person, and it's incredible looking.
Mhm.
But I'm hoping they re-release him because I don't want to spend that much money.
I don't blame you.
But
Speaking of
yeah,
speaking, we
get
did not talk about this, but do you see how much that
that.
rocket firing Fett went for?
Yeah, 1.3
Uh,
million dollars.
say that again?
$1.3 million dollars.
Right. I'm just amazed that a Fett went for that much money. And I'm like, I don't see why. I mean, is it just people are wanting it that bad, or is it the first one that was really found? I mean, I've heard the story behind it, but, or at least I've heard a story behind a bag Fett popping up, but it's just, that's a lot of freaking money for something that was, when it hit $100,000, we were like, oh my God. And now it's 1 million.
Yeah, I think it's a case of it being the current Action Comics number one, the first appearance of Superman.
Uh-huh.
Like that was the big item people chased. Everybody wanted an Action Comics number one because it was in some ways the kickoff of superheroes. It's the first Superman, which is a almost as recognized, I guess. It's probably just as recognized as Mickey Mouse.
Mhm.
So everybody wanted that. Everybody was chasing it. the demand raised up. And I think the current version of Action Comics #1 is a rocket firing Boba Fett because they are limited to only 70. They're not easy to get. And it's pop culture. It's a legendary toy that got, canceled and recalled.
Right. Oh, it just makes it even more harder. That's bad. Harder for somebody to get it, especially if they're going to hit 1 million. Because I mean, even I couldn't imagine paying $1 million for a toy.
Yeah. It's an
Even if I had a
investment. That's
million
not a
dollars,
toy.
that's not. It's a collectible, but still,
Well, it's also an investment.
dude,
I
how
mean,
much more at $1 million? I don't think it's an investment at that point. I mean, it may be an investment, but it's who else? Where else is it going to go past $1 million?
um, it'll be 10 million someday.
In the current state of Star Wars, you'll have a $10 million
Yeah,
collectible.
because that's not going to change the value of the rocket firing Boba Fett. I mean, Disney can make a bunch of shows that doesn't resonate with people,
Uh-huh.
and the legend of the rocket firing Boba Fett will will continue. It'll endure.
Right.
But I've been wrong before, so don't listen to me like I'm an expert.
Don't go spend $1 million on a rocket firing
Oh,
Fett
I am not
tomorrow. Please
advocating that at
don't.
all.
Please don't listen to us and go spend a
No,
million
sir.
dollars on that Fett because it's a lot of freaking money. I mean, wow. And it came with two rockets and it came with the baggie. And I don't know if the bag, if it fell out the baggie or I don't know the story behind it, but that it better have some awesome provenance to hit $1 million.
I'm sure it's not fake at that price. I mean, you can't
No,
fake.
it better
Yeah.
not be fake at that price. But I mean, I know that even when it had been thrown up on the auction site, people were like, "Oh man, this is gonna hit. It's gonna be crazy." So before it even hit anything, people are calling out that it was gonna be $1 million.
I guess the last thing to cover, because I think we've hit an hour, right?
Yeah, we're right at an hour.
Um, this week I noticed that somebody on eBay was selling Earl McCarthy prints, and he is the guy that did about 70 different. He did art for about 70 different toy lines. The artist would sculpt things. One of the things that, I mean, he did Masters of the Universe. One of the things that I like collecting is his art for Micro Machines. He did a bunch of that, and some of that stuff appeared on eBay. Um, they said they're prints. They're in color, so I have sketches in black and white. They're ink sketches. This is in color, and it says that it's signed by him,
Yeah,
and so it comes with a certificate of authenticity. So I went ahead and got the Salacious Crumb one. I'll see if it's actually signed by him, because then maybe I'll order more. But there was a couple it was just $10, so it's like I'll
right,
take a risk for $10. But the listing said that they were an agent for O. McCarthy. Don't ask us for more art or something like that because we can't get it from him. And they were just talking about it like he's still alive,
either that or they're dealing with the estate.
which is possible because it's my understanding that the estate only got rid of a little bit, a little chunk of his art, that they still have a lot. They didn't want to let it go.
Mhm.
Um, but even if that's the case, I don't know where I'm going with this. Yeah, it's he's not alive, and you shouldn't be positioning it like you should say like we're dealing with his estate or something.
Right. Well, I mean, eBay, you do have a lot of people that I mean, I'm assuming he's in the States. You get people that aren't good with words and they don't know how to put stuff. Don't understand. They can't, you know, don't understand it,
Maybe.
and they didn't know how to word it. And yeah, but I mean, dude, I would not feel even if it's a photocopy, a nice color photocopy for $10. It's awesome because I've seen vintage photocopies of coins go for 400.
Yeah, if he signed it, then it's worth the money for me because then it's
Right.
a signed print by him.
Right. And even if it's a character you collect. Did yeah, they did make it because I know I've seen it. They
Yeah,
made that.
they made that one.
Um, because I mean, even if they had the Wampa one, because I looked to see if they had the Wampa one and they didn't, because I even thought I'm like, well, if they have a Wampa one, I'll pick it up just to kind of put it in my collection. and they didn't have one, but it was all like stuff that was not produced. I mean, it was a pretty amazing collection of stuff, and in my mind, it was cheap.
Yeah, so we'll see when it
Yeah,
comes in. I haven't got a shipping notice, but that was Friday. I'm just like, what's an expectation for shipping on eBay? Like, what's
I would expect it early next week,
to
dude.
get the shipping notice?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
expect Monday, Tuesday, you should see a shipping notice. But I'll tell you, man, the post office has been messing stuff up. Because there was stuff that I ordered that I should have had Wednesday, I didn't get till Friday, and stuff that I should get Friday that I'm not going to get till Monday, Tuesday because I don't. I mean, post office is slow right now, so I'd expect it in like 3 weeks.
Well, that's fine. I'm okay with that. I just want it shipped.
Right. No, I mean that was an awesome find. And I felt kind of bad because I was like half asleep scrolling and you'd messaged me and then like the next day at like noon you messaged me again and I was like, "Oh man, I totally forgot about that."
No, it's fine. I took the risk. I'm like, $10 is worth the signature. So we'll see what happens, and
Right.
I may request a couple more.
Right. No, I would. I mean, you're into that stuff. If you could afford it, I'd buy one of everything. Just put
Yeah,
it in a book.
yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
Well, that sounds like a good show, I hope.
I hope. Hopefully, we got people's blood boiling, and if we
Right.
did, it's time to check out BetterHelp.com.
You're great. Start talking to people or message us.
Yeah, we'll help you
We
through the racism.
right.
Thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy Podcast. Please, if you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. It really helps us out, points people to our show. Follow us on social media. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback and we love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. Thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the music. People, collect for the love of it. Hashtag vote with your wallet. I suspect Jabba the Hutt's not his real name. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.